Hi, I'm Lalea Mary, and in this video I would like to talk about the concept of healing trauma, or the way I see it, the concept on which is based my method of healing trauma. Well, the concept is based on all the research that has been done about prenatal trauma and the fact that there are different developmental events that will happen when you are in utero. There are different stages that are very important in the development of the fetus, and if there is any trauma happening during one of those stages, then this unresolved trauma will have a huge impact on that individual's life later, and it will replay itself until it's addressed and properly healed. That's why it's important to go and heal the first traumas of any chain of trauma. It's important to go and identify events during childhood, and then for people who are willing and who are able to feel their feelings with ease, go back and trace them back to the moment of their birth, or even to those specific in utero stages. So those developmental events, there's a theory that describes them, and this theory emphasizes the importance of resolving conception trauma as well as any other traumas that may have occurred during those important in utero stages, meaning during those developmental events. You can also receive unresolved trauma from your parents. This usually affects your conception. So we go and look at the egg or the sperm cell, and for example, for a specific feeling, like someone is depressed, is heavily depressed, we can go and trace it back to their conception to check and verify if there is any trace of depression that this person has been born with. In this case, that individual will not know how to live without depression, because maybe they have received it from the egg, from their mom's side. Maybe their mom has not been depressed, but this specific epigenetic trait has been activated in this person. So we can go and check the moment of conception for any specific block or emotion and see if it's present at that time, and if it is, we can release it, and this usually has a very big impact on that person's life. So what you receive at your conception affects your life in a very significant way, and the quality of the energy you receive from your parents will be affected by what you receive at your conception, the quality of the energy around your conception, and that also defines your vitality. Very frequently, our parents' state of mind and their quality of energy has not been at their highest levels when they conceived us. Unfortunately, unless the parents have a high level of consciousness and there's true love between them, the quality of the energy that a person is conceived with is not really very high. And also there are other issues, like you may have not been wanted and really desired by both your parents. This in itself is considered a trauma, even if they have done nothing to end the pregnancy. But the fact that, for example, your father has said to your mom, "That's not a good time, I really don't want to have kids," it may have affected you. It may not have an impact on another person, on another baby, but maybe for some people this has been a trauma. So usually if the person is talking about it, like "my parents didn't want me," it shows that it's an issue for them. So I usually go and check that and heal it. But maybe not at the first time, of course. Maybe the first couple of sessions I need to work with the person to heal enough trauma to give them more energy and vitality so that they can go and look at traumas that are harder to heal, such as conception trauma or any in utero trauma. Your body, your physical body, learns by association. Your body is connected to what is called your reptilian brain, and your reptilian brain does not have the ability to reason, and it learns by association. So it will associate those bad feelings you had when you were in utero, because the fetus can of course have feelings, and it will associate them to safety and to being alive. So they will become your basic concept of how life is and what means to be safe. It will create this negative association that I am safe only when I feel depressed, if this feeling of depression was present at the time of your conception. Or I am safe only when I feel fear, if during your mom's pregnancy something bad has happened and she has felt a lot of fear. You will be used to having this feeling and emotion in your environment. So then those unresolved feelings are stored in your subconscious, which is your body consciousness. Your subconscious is your reptilian brain, and it will unfortunately replay them for you by recreating life circumstances that will make you re-experience those feelings because they have the same quality. So if you have felt fear and your body has associated fear to the basic concept of safety, you will tend to create circumstances or attract people in your life that will make you feel that fear. You may feel restricted and limited in certain areas of your life without conscious recall of what might be causing the block. Unfortunately, if you could have a conscious recall of what it was, you could have been able to heal it and get rid of it pretty early in your life. But the complexity of it is that it's not conscious. You may find yourself repeating the same relationship mistakes over and over again, attracting the wrong person, going through the same scenario in your job and business, and have a reduced level of vitality and well-being, which over time may lead to frustrating health issues. All of those issues will have three components in the form of a negative belief stored in your mind, which will affect your neocortex, which is your logical mind. And this negative belief actually has been generated because of all the negative thought forms that the initial trauma has caused in your brain, in your logical mind. There's also another component. It's a feeling stored in your heart, which is connected to your limbic system. The limbic system is a part of the brain, which is the feeling you had because of the trauma, at the moment of the trauma. And there's another component, one last component of it, and it's body sensation, which is a set of bodily feelings that have been associated to that traumatic experience. And this last component is stored in the brain. It's connected to the reptilian part of the brain. These three components need to be resolved for any issue to heal permanently. Otherwise, the condition can recreate itself since its root causes have remained unchanged. And last but not least, there are epigenetic influences that are unresolved traumas and negative experiences that you have inherited from your ancestors. Epigenetics is a branch of genetics that tells us that we can inherit also our ancestors' traumas or anything that they have not digested, quote unquote. Any negative emotion, negative experiences that have really affected them. At their time, there were no psychotherapy or any other self-help techniques that they could use to release those feelings. So unfortunately, they have just passed them to the next generation. And those epigenetic influences, unfortunately, affect all of us. And many of them are at the root of our issues, many of our issues. They contribute to the creation of that issue. So for your specific block or issue that you want help with, if there are epigenetic influences that are contributing to it, unless they are addressed and released properly, the block that they have caused will not be totally resolved. So it's important to identify those ones and to release them. This can also be beneficial for other people in your family, especially your loved ones, like your parents, your kids. They may indirectly benefit from it. The impact will not be as big as it will be in your life because each person needs to do a direct healing of their trauma, but they can benefit from it. I have seen that in my own life, in the people that are close to me. As I healed my own traumas that I have inherited from them, I have seen them change as well. But it's, of course, a mild change and it's very indirect. But it's a good thing. of course. So the purpose of my sessions is to clear those blocks, all of those blocks and traumas, in the areas of your life where you are still trapped in negative programmings. In this case, you don't usually have a conscious memory of those past events, as I already said. Otherwise, you could have treated them, you could have done something to improve them. Even though most of the time people can somehow sense something. This is coming from their cell memory. The information is stored in their body, and their body is telling them there is something wrong here. Something's coming from my mom's side that I can feel. I don't know what it is, but I feel that there's a block there. So during the session, we will resolve those traumas that are at the root of your problem and remove any association that your body or your reptilian brain has made that has caused those traumas to occur in the first place, or is keeping them in place, preventing their permanent healing. So this is a short description of what I can do during my healing sessions for you. I hope it has helped you to better understand my technique and what my approach in trauma healing is, and I'll be glad to help you improve your life and embody joy and excellence and happiness and success. To order a Skype session, please visit thegoddessways.com.